What is going on, people? Before we start this lovely podcast, wait, we sound really good right now. Did you change something on the tunes?
Just crisp, baby.
It just sounds really cool. Oh, you know what it is?
What?
I think I just finished a cup of Chimera coffee, and it's got me feeling a little silky smooth. So it isn't the audio.
No, man, it's probably just the nootropics in the coffee that are firing
all
your
cylinders, man.
Cylinders.
No, I feel like it, man. It feels really good right now.
You're in
man.
high definition, brother.
Man, can we share this Chimera coffee with the world?
Yes, all they have to do is go to chimeracoffee.com, type in the coupon code, show the art.
Show the art.
Yeah, and you save 10%. It's pretty good. It's great money.
Pretty good? It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah. So check it out, guys, and save some money on some great coffee. Our next sponsor is Inverted
Speaking
Gear.
of saving some money, let's get some gear, baby.
Go to invertedgear.com, type in the coupon code, showtheart15, save 15% off.
Get yourself some new threads. I know everyone's cutting right now because summer's coming up, spring's coming up, so everyone's trying to shred.
Yeah.
So get yourself a new gi, man. Look good, feel good.
That's right. So you can perform good. Show the Art 15, save 15% off any and all of their gear.
You're welcome.
Boom. Our last sponsor and one of our newest ones.
Dopeness.
M85
the
Designs.
Freshness.
Yeah. He makes our M85. He's a guy. He started a company. He's a designer.
Really good designer,
yeah,
man.
He's making our podcast logos and graphics and stuff like that. So, guys, check him out. He makes rash guards. He'll design you a rash guard, a T-shirt, a hoodie. He'll smack you in the face for a couple $, if you want to.
If you want to go check out his work, where would you go?
Go to m85.com.
Okay.
Spell it all out. It's not numbers. m85.com. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. It is a beautiful Monday morning on the East Coast. Finally, it's not cold. There's no snow. It's melting. I could go on, but I'm your host, or we are your host. My name is Ames. Alongside with me is my boy, sipping on cat piss. Abe, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
How you feeling?
Good, man. For the record, it's not cat piss.
It's not.
It's Alpha Brain.
It's little Alpha Brain. Thanks for sharing, man.
You're welcome.
So, who do we have on today, brother, man?
I don't know. This guy Tom from MySpace.
Backspace.
Yeah.
Craigslist.
You should all know him by now.
Yeah. So Tom McSweeney. He's one of our jiu-jitsu students, and he's a police officer in the town of Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
No big deal.
So don't drive fast. This guy will pull you over in a heartbeat.
Does that mean I could speed now that I have a new friend in Tom?
Let
me ask you, Tom.
No comment.
I cannot deny or confirm that.
Tom, thank you so much for jumping on with us, brother, man.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, man. So let's start it here. Can you give us a background on how your jiu-jitsu journey started, when you started, how it started, all that good stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I started, oh my God, it's probably almost 10 years ago when they were in the old school.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just with work, everything, being a police officer, I saw that they were wearing really cool uniforms doing it through the window. And I just jumped in and I got my head kicked in for quite a while.
Nice.
And I think just like a lot of people, life happens, and I was kind of in and out.
Okay.
And I think I went for a year strong, and then I actually bailed out for a while.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah.
No judgment. It's a judgment-free zone.
And then they had moved the school up to their current location, and then I came back.
Nice.
And then that was probably a few years, what?
A couple years ago.
A couple years
ago.
And again, same thing, just life gets in the way. I had to leave again. Then I came back and basically been bouncing back and forth, in and out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And, now I'm back again.
We're here now, yeah. Tom's a good student. Tom's a blue belt now. You've been a blue belt for 6 years, right?
No. I'm still a white belt.
No, Tom's a white belt. But no, Tom, you also have a wrestling background, right?
Yes.
So what other backgrounds do you have, and go into that as far as martial arts?
I mean, the only thing as far as any training I've ever done was mostly wrestling.
Okay.
Everything was, and it's a nice transition coming from wrestling to jiu-jitsu, the only issue is I have a bad habit of giving up my back. And I
Still?
Yeah, unfortunately. I can't help it. 25 years of wrestling doesn't defeat a few years of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But and just, I mean, we do training in the academy. The unfortunate thing about the academy is only a few months long.
Okay.
So the guys think that, oh, look, they showed me a Kimura or something else, some kind of weapon retention. Well, unless you're training that, you're not going to remember it.
Sure.
You're not, I mean, there's stuff that we'll learn on Tuesday, and by Thursday, I totally forgot about it.
Sure.
And these guys don't keep up on it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
And you know better than anybody because you know how it feels to come in here and train consistently
Yes.
and how it feels to not train
Oh,
consistently.
yes.
So imagine the people that go to an academy for a little while. It's like, I can't even remember the shit I'm learning on a consistent
Yes.
basis.
Yeah,
Imagine inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. It's like learning something new at like a seminar. Like you learn a few cool things, or whatever. Like not novelties, but a few cool moves. Whether it's jiu-jitsu or weight training, you go to like a lifting seminar. It's cool. You bring it up, but if you don't practice it, you're gonna
It's
forget
gone.
about it. Yeah, you're
It's
gonna
gone.
forget about it, man. Unless you're like a genius,
Yeah.
like Abe.
But and that's really the extent of as far as martial arts stuff goes. That's
How much wrestling did you do?
I probably wrestled for like 20, 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
all through high school, a little bit in college, and the year I actually stopped wrestling was the year that those kids died from cutting weight. And I was almost one of those kids. It was bad.
Seriously?
Yeah,
No
I wound up in
kidding.
the hospital.
What school?
Delaware Valley was a D3 school, but very good.
Yeah.
And I was 189 in high school. I went into college at 205, but I was lifting and training. I wrestled 165, I think it was.
Wow.
So the night before, what I was doing was spend a lot of time in the sauna.
Yeah.
I brought an exercise bike in the sauna. And there's no coming back. Your body hits a point, and more recently I've seen that where your body hits a point and you can't compete. You might as well not even show up because you're so depleted.
Yeah.
And you can barely live.
Yeah.
And so I was drinking Pedialyte for a day straight because we had our weigh-ins. They used to be the day before.
Now they're the day of,
Yeah,
right?
an hour before, which is very
Yeah.
smart.
That's the best thing to
because
do, of course.
You get hydrated.
If you can't, if you could barely stand on the scale, your opponent's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember wrestling my match and kind of going a little bit out of it. And I'm like, I don't know, something's not right. And the next thing you know, I'm in the hospital, 2 IVs in my arm, and the nurse yelling at me that my mother almost lost a son.
Holy crap.
So I was like, okay, I've had enough of this sport.
But it was
brutal,
just
man.
like severe dehydration.
Severe, yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
It was, and my body had gotten so beat up at that point, it was hard for me to even come back from it. So even all the Pedialyte and everything,
You almost had the
you're-
flu
you're-
now, right?
Yes, and now you're throwing up. You have, diarrhea. It's your body can't handle now. All of a sudden, this influx of all this fluid.
I see.
Wow. And then what happened with those kids? Was that in your school?
No, that was I believe he was from Michigan, the one kid, and possibly Nebraska.
Okay.
And that
And that was
happened
that
after?
weekend.
Oh,
No, that was that weekend. That's the
holy
first
crap.
weigh-in.
Wow.
That's the first big tournament weekend of the college year.
Wow.
And the next thing you know, those kids, they basically cut weight until they died.
Yeah.
Wow.
And did you find out after you were in the
After.
hospital?
Yeah.
So
after.
it was like, wow, all right,
I'm
meant
done.
to be.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Look, I'm
That was
good.
it. I'm out.
This is it. So how much weight, or when would you start the weight cut? How many weeks or a week before?
I was an idiot the way I did it because I
Okay.
had never made that weight before.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't 165 pounds, 164 pounds since freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
So with me, I started on Monday.
I'm not even 165 yet.
I
I've literally never been. I probably never even crossed 160 in
No kidding.
my life. Yeah.
That must be nice.
yeah, I was gonna say,
No.
that's nice.
It's not.
But I started let's say I had to weigh in on Friday. I started on Monday. My last meal was Tuesday.
Oh.
My last drink of water was Wednesday. And I remember that my tongue started to swell. My eyes were drying out. It was bad.
That's bad.
It was
man.
bad.
That is brutal. Like I would see some of my friends who compete in powerlifting competitions. They would do like a water cut diet,
Yeah.
where they would drink like 3 gallons, 2 gallons,
Yeah.
1 gallon, then cut it all out.
That's
Yeah.
the classic. Yeah.
To see them, and then like seeing the ones that kind of did it last minute, who would do the same thing, like heat up a room, get the air dye going, put on some plastic bags and start
Yeah.
going. Like, man, you're not. And this is powerlifting, so you got to lift heavy things. And
Oh.
they bombed out. They didn't do well in the competition just because. Yeah, you could do that.
You're
Maybe
depleted.
Yeah.
Certainly not healthy.
You're
Yeah,
shot
no.
up, man.
I did it definitely the absolute worst way humanly possible.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Lesson
man.
learned.
I mean, you learned the lesson firsthand, and then you heard about
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You know, a
it's-
secondhand
you could see where,
lesson
how you know,
for the
then you
worst.
see how bad it could have been.
Yeah, man.
And you're like, oh my God, what am I? And then
Yeah.
I realized, I go, what am I doing to myself? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. I'm not gonna become a professional wrestler.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I just said, you know what? I've had enough. My body's had enough.
Yeah.
So then after that, what did you do? You went because you didn't become a cop immediately.
No, I
You became a
did.
cop in your 30s,
Okay.
27.
27.
Okay.
Yeah, I did every crappy job under the sun.
Nice.
And you know what? And I actually thank God for it.
Nice.
It's you learn that what working like a dog means
Mm-hmm.
and not making $1. So I think it puts a lot of perspective on when you're pulling someone over. You kind of have an idea that maybe that guy in the car doesn't really need that $150 summons. Because you've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been there where you're wondering, oh man, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that?
Times
and,
are rough.
And that's it. And so I did a bunch of kind of like odd jobs. I did a lot of construction.
Okay.
Then I actually got hooked up. I had a really, really cool job where I flew all over the country and dealt with doctors and nurses.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice. Saw
Okay.
everything.
Mhm.
And then it just, I've always wanted to be a police officer, and
Okay.
the opportunity came around, and thank
took
God I
it, yeah.
swooped it up.
That's an important thing about it, though. Like you did all the
Yeah.
jobs possible, where you know what it means to work hard. You know what it feels like to be like,
On your
All right.
feet the whole day.
yeah, and I only
grinding.
have as much money as is in my bank account
Mhm.
until my next paycheck.
Mhm.
I'm like rationing everything because I don't get paid until the 15th.
Yeah.
And like, shit, this guy, I'm about to get a ticket. And I wasn't even thinking because there's so many other things on my mind.
Right.
I didn't see that stop sign I'm just trying to get home. My brain is not operating. That doesn't excuse
No.
like
yeah.
speeding
No.
and breaking the laws. But sometimes, like just because somebody breaks like a speeding law once does not mean they do that all the time, right?
No, and the greatest power that any police officer has is discretion.
Yeah.
Okay.
If a warning, if you think a warning is going to be just as good as writing someone a ticket,
Mm-hmm.
maybe give the guy a break. You know what?
Sure.
If he does it tomorrow and he's doing the same thing, well then he's just,
Mhm.
then he's wrong.
And
He's
you
an
guys have
idiot.
the capability of seeing that, right? Like you take notes and stuff.
Yes. There's a lot of things we can do, and especially being in a small town, you see the same people over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's
True.
It's not like being in New York City to where you
Mm.
might never see the same person again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Good. So if you pull over an out of towner,
Right. I give them the same discretion as
Okay.
everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're not nitpicking.
There's like a lot of stories about guys. Oh, if they're out of town, they're getting tickets, and
Mhm.
most guys, nobody, they're not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something that if you could tell like the world or whatever, something they don't understand about police officers?
Ugh.
Because let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
But
No,
you guys don't have a good rap right now, and it's not your fault.
Yeah.
There-
That's what I'm saying.
A few bad apples ruin it for everybody,
that's-
and
and-
that's in everything.
And even if you think about it, teachers. Think
Yeah.
about how many. Let's say there's a
Yeah.
million teachers across the country.
Yeah.
Statistics, you're going to have a few bad ones.
Of course.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Of course.
And that's just, listen, same thing with police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys take the job for all the right reasons,
Yeah.
and there are unfortunately guys out there that take the job for all the wrong reasons.
Got it.
That's in everything, though.
And that's
yeah.
I mean, listen, any profession across the board, banking, teaching,
Yeah.
anything.
true.
martial
you're gonna
arts,
get it.
even.
That's
you
it.
get the jerk offs that
Yeah,
are
you
like,
get the meatheads.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. You did it.
But yeah, no, I mean, but like Ames said, I guess that goes
You know-
a long distance.
and you know what it is though too. I think a lot of people don't understand is, like, I wear a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
The next guy wears a uniform, but we're still at the end of the day, we're still regular people.
Yeah.
We deal with crap at home.
Yeah.
So
That's another good point. You might have a bad day, and
right, everybody's gonna have a bad day.
We're all
eventually.
We're human, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if your bad day as a police officer crosses my bad day as a civilian, that sucks.
Yes,
But
Yeah.
we can't assume that that's what happens every single
no,
time.
No,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're gonna get a ticket. Sometimes you're gonna get off.
Yeah, I've collected
just-
a few of those like Pokemon. But you know what? I never had like
It's the lay of the land.
a bad. Of course, the bad experience was getting the ticket, but I never had it where I felt threatened or like
Yeah.
they were. There's one time when I was 19 or 18, I didn't realize he was doing a nice thing for me. I got pulled over. I didn't have my license, so he said, "Call your pops, to bring your license over.
Yes.
This is in Union. I lived in Jersey City at the time. I'm like, and I'm just let me go. And in my head, I'm like, what a prick. And then like 2 years, I'm like, no, you're the dumbass, man. He was actually trying to help you out.
He's trying to be a good guy, and you know.
He was making you abide by the law. Pull this car over, it's done.
Yeah.
Bring somebody else over so that you have.
Yeah. Just listen. Well, you know, he might have just wanted to make sure you had a license. And all right, see you later. You know.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I realized they're not gonna be smiling and being all jokey. They're here to protect.
And another thing
stuff.
to think about, which when you start researching and you watch these documentaries of cops talking, these guys. You see videos all the time where a guy pulls over somebody randomly, and then that person in the car shoots him down.
Yeah.
So of course you're gonna walk to the car shaky. It's serious business.
Yeah, and you know and every time you approach a car, I might run a license plate and it says that Joe Smith owns that car.
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe Smith is really in the car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Joe Smith just did something where he doesn't want to be caught. And that's the problem where people say, "Oh, you approached me aggressively."
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my defensive when I'm walking up to your window because I have no idea what your intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You know, listen. I'm when I pull someone over, I'm getting out in a uniform. I have a car with bright lights on it. You know what I'm there for.
Yeah.
I don't know what that guy in the car. You know, we don't know, and that's the unknown is what's kind of scary.
Kind of scary.
Is your adrenaline pumping once that happens, or like what's going through your head?
I mean, there's obviously there's a million things. You're wondering, you're just trying to think of why I pulled him over.
Okay.
You're looking at the passenger compartment now. If there's more than one person, now you got to start thinking like, okay, there's 4 guys in the car and I'm out here on the road by myself.
Yeah.
So there's just tons of stuff you got to think tactically. And at the end of the day, you might just be pulling over 4 kids going to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of you got to transition back and forth.
True.
And that's fine, but you have to calculate all that to be safe, right? And just because you see 4 kids in a car doesn't mean that they're all drug dealers.
No.
But it also doesn't mean that they're like just a bunch of rowdy kids. You should call for backup just in case.
Yep.
You should have somebody else because you never know.
It's always nice to have another person with you, another set of eyes.
Yeah. So when you get pulled over and then another police car shows up, don't think you're in trouble.
Yeah.
They're just, oh my God, there's 3 cops behind me.
What did I do?
You're basically just trying to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our rule is everybody goes home at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't see it that way.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, I can't believe this guy, there's nothing better to do than pull me over. Well, that's kind of why you hired me.
Yeah.
I'm here to protect, the law.
Yeah. And to make people abide by it and at least teach them about it, right? I feel like that's a lesson learned when, let's say I get pulled over for doing something wrong and they don't give me a ticket.
Yeah.
That's a lesson I just learned. They just taught me about the law. They taught me, hey, don't do this again because this can be very serious. Easily speeding through a stop sign could get a car accident could happen.
Right. I mean, if it's your loved one that's on the receiving end of that when they're getting T-boned, and then you look and this guy only had 10 warnings, but he never got any summonses. Well, there's something going on there. Maybe he should have,
been given a ticket.
Right.
That lesson.
I actually learned my damn lesson, man. I got maybe a few months ago. I got 2 tickets in 1 week. One, I was really impatient. I overtook a car. It was over here at Lyndhurst, right? I forgot what street that is.
You
What
passed to
happened,
the
I'm like,
right
man,
or
that was
passed
it.
to the left?
I passed him, and then right when I passed him, I saw a car pull up. I'm like, yep, I deserve this one. I just told him I was dumb.
Did you pass over the line?
Yeah. I did like a freaking Fast and Furious type of thing. He was driving so slow. It was a Mercedes Benz. I was hating and all that stuff. I told the cop yep, that was dumb.
Yeah,
and he slapped me with a ticket. And I've driven. You could ask my wife if you're listening. Back me up. I've been driving super safe just because I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it.
Yeah.
No.
I've
being
driven
early,
in a car
maybe
too.
like a minute early, it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Right, and a lot of times when you speed,
Yeah.
it only adds up to like 30 seconds, a minute to get there on time.
I laugh because everybody speeds.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they speed up, and then they're just stopped in traffic a half mile down the road anyway.
That's true.
I go, where are you going? You're going nowhere fast. Like it's
You know what's funny? Yesterday, I think I was driving a Mod Cup yesterday in Jersey City on Palisades. So casual driving down Route 3, and then you get to Route 3, and then you have to get off Route 3 to go to 1 and 9.
Yeah.
You know that route,
Yes.
right? So, and then there's a light right when those two meet.
Yeah.
So some guy, boom, this, what is it, the Jeep, that big Jeep
Wrangler?
4x4 that has like the supercharged engine, the SRT,
Yeah.
where you hear come from a mile. This guy is just skating through people, and boom, cuts me off hard. I'm in like the middle lane.
Okay.
And I'm just driving normal. Boom, cuts me off. I'm like, this jerk.
Yeah.
I wish I could just like.
And I
Fast
know
and the
everybody
Furious
thinks the
him.
same thing. Hey, where's a cop when you need one?
I was gonna
Where's
say
the
that. I
cop
was
when
like,
you
"Where
need
is he,
one?"
man?"
Yeah.
When someone makes that illegal right or left, I'm like, "Where's a cop?"
Yeah. So he's being that guy, just like trying to get by everybody. He's in a rush, right? But he's in a like, I'm a cool guy. I have a cool car rush.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. This guy's an idiot. So I keep driving. I wind up right behind him, right where we come onto that light, because some
You don't have a
traffic
choice.
happened. Yeah. And like he had to slow down because there was more cars on the road. It wasn't heavy traffic. There was just more cars on the road. And then what happens? We get to close to that light. There's now it's like there's a
narrows
lot of
up little
people.
bit, Yep.
There's only 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
He changes lane to the right lane, and then gets backed up by all these cars. I wind up making the light, and he gets stuck at the light.
Did you give him the middle finger as you passed by?
No, because I would thought of
You
it. I'm like,
should've.
gotcha, peace. But it was like it just
Bitch.
proved right there. I was just driving. This guy's in a rush.
Yeah.
We wind up meeting at the same exact spot, and I actually wind up beating him just because
Yeah.
random.
It just
because
happens.
random.
Yeah.
And it was like you're an idiot. See,
Yeah.
you didn't get anywhere.
And they cause the traffic because now he's weaving in and out. Everybody starts brake checking, and it just slows everything up.
Didn't even think of
True.
that.
I didn't think about
If
that.
everybody went with the flow, it would just move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I did not think that.
that's a good thing. And also, if I let people pass me, right, like I don't be a jerk,
Mm-hmm.
that also lets the flow.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Just
we're,
flows. Move out of the tri-state area because everyone's so
beat
much
all the
nicer.
traffic.
Yeah. you
What
beat
about the people that, like, let's say you're getting off at a street or an exit, whatever, and cars are backed up, and then that one guy that's like, he tries to drive to the front and then cuts
everybody
people
hates that
it?
guy.
Yeah.
Now that guy, is he causing more traffic?
Yes and no. It depends. I mean, I guess it depends.
Because some
where-
people
where it
have a
is.
legit case. Some people just didn't realize they're late. They missed the, oh shit, there's the exit. Ah.
Yeah, that guy.
Mhm.
Listen, everybody hates that guy or girl, whoever's doing
Yeah,
it.
whoever it is.
But I mean, sometimes you do feel bad. This area of the country is confusing to drive in.
Yeah,
man.
And all of a sudden, the sign is there, and it's like I have 30 feet to get over 2 lanes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and maybe I got to kind of cut in a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead
And-
of waiting in line.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because again, we take the good apples with the
Right.
bad apples. But does that guy cause more traffic? Like,
Yeah, cutting in.
people
Cutting
study.
Yeah, cutting in. It's it's if
Is
he's
that
jamming
illegal?
the nose. What happened?
Is that illegal?
If he's riding on the shoulder,
No, he's not right on the shoulder. He came from the left side. The exit's on the right. There's a line of
it's
people.
not illegal. It's just
Yeah.
you're being an
It's
idiot.
a douche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just-
But what if?
That's one of the things you shake your head at. You're
Yeah.
like, you should have got over before.
But what if it's a lane? That
Can't cross a solid line.
No, it's a lane. It's a 3-lane
Right.
highway or whatever, like Route 3
Yeah.
is, and only the right lane is the exit only, and he still
goes-
tries to cut in. That's potential traffic, right?
Yeah.
That's a
yeah.
potential
yeah. I mean,
accident.
that's gonna cause problems.
Okay.
Because now the lane he's in currently is gonna have to slow because he's
Yeah.
trying to cut in.
Yeah.
And then the lane he's cutting into.
Do you
he's
give
gonna
that guy a
slow
ticket?
down. It
You
depends.
pull up
case
behind
by
him.
case.
Yeah.
Case
Okay.
by case.
It sounds more
That's-
like a douchey.
Okay, so that
thing, I
same
think.
guy's driving like that.
Have
that,
you
Did you get this ticket?
No,
Are you there?
That
Are
same
you this
guy's-
guy?
yeah. That same guy's driving like that really like fast car,
He's
like a
holding-
Dodge
If
Viper.
you're,
or
He's
mad,
holding
if you're
on-
mad about the car,
You're holding on to
Yeah.
this like a seatbelt.
I'm trying to
Like
give
you're
people
trying to
scenarios.
guillotine. You're trying.
I'm saying if you're driving a Dodge Viper, you gotta be a little bit safer on the road because people are gonna hate on you
Yeah.
for that
No,
Viper.
I got a
You know what I'm
I got a
saying?
more important question. Do you guys ticket the nicer cars opposed to like?
no.
Oh, okay.
That's and it's funny because someone asked me that one time, and I'm like, I really don't care
Do
what
I?
you drive.
Okay.
Just don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because listen, in reality, the car didn't do anything.
No, it's the driver.
It's the person
Yeah,
that's
that's
driving.
true.
But in people's minds, like, oh well, they can afford it more. They're not gonna.
I
They're
mean,
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe they'll let the Kia,
Yeah.
my Kia, out the way. You know what I mean?
listen, maybe there are guys that'll do that, but
I get
I
you.
know my guys. The guys I work with. Are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this douchebag. He's driving fast. He
Yeah.
got his Viper.
we're gonna ticket everybody equally.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yeah. But it's also I think you said it earlier. Like, not a lot of people understand what cops are going through when they're pulling people over and they're walking to the car and all this stuff. Besides traffic cops, just in general.
Yeah, no.
But it's also because they have never heard or went to research a police officer's perspective.
Right. No, and they, I mean, and especially now, it seems just like the public is very closed-minded about everything. It's, they listen. I wake up in the morning. I put my pants on just like everybody else. I go to work. I drink my coffee. It's, I could have a bad day. I could get into an accident. Someone could break into my car, and maybe I'm having a crappy morning.
Yeah.
And the one good thing is though that we, even through training, whatever, we definitely try not to. People say, "Oh, you guys are like emotionless," and that's part of your training. Is you unfortunately kind of got to be a little cold about things because I don't want my emotions to come through on a traffic stop or,
Yeah, because there's so many other factors.
Yeah, there's a million different things
and
going on.
Like you being over friendly to a woman, she can try to sue whatever for like. But if you're cold or you have that flat look on your face, there's no way they can accuse you. You know what I'm saying? And
now everything's recorded with body cameras, so a lot of that, which is, I think it's a godsend having those things on.
Yeah.
It cuts out a lot of the crap.
From both sides.
There's no BS anymore. True.
Do you have a sticker on your shirt that says "I'm wearing a camera"?
No, it's a giant box in my chest that has a lens on it, and there's no.
I guarantee you, no one's looking at that box in your chest. They're just like, "What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?"
But no, it has a big flashing light on it.
Okay. So they know.
They know.
Hi, my name is Officer Tom. I'm wearing
it's the way
camera.
like everything is right now. Just like if you're whatever's popular, if you're not with it, you're racist. You're all these things.
You're
I just have a different opinion.
I'm aimsist.
You're an aimsist. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Just tell me about your opinions.
And that's
blah
it.
blah blah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
And you just take it. It's all right.
So why are you not dressed like a cop right now? You're dressed with this fly shirt, fly watch.
I am on special assignments still, which is good.
Yeah.
I could see that special.
Yeah.
This guy's dressed like a GQ model.
I know, man.
Special assignment.
Listen, I had a rough year, and
so let's get into that rough year. Unfortunately, you were diagnosed with and you ...
Yeah, no, it's cancer. It's not Voldemort. It's not Beetlejuice. A lot of people get so scared to say it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
I just didn't want to get it confused, like you had brain cancer.
No. I had testicular cancer. The other end of the body. The other brains.
Total opposite.
The other head.
Yeah. No, late March of, 2015, I guess. I started having some pains, and obviously I'm a guy, so I don't get anything checked out. I just think I was doing jiujitsu. I was training hard. I was lifting every day. And I'm like, I got a hernia. And like everybody else, I went on WebMD.
Yep.
And they told me I had cancer. And I'm like,
WebMD said that?
Yeah. Well, WebMD, I put in for
idiots.
stuff for a splinter, and they tell me I have cancer because I have a splinter.
Yeah.
Everything you put in just says cancer.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm like, they say this about everything. So I'm like, all right, I let it go. And I let it go. And then my stomach started bothering me, right above my groin. I'm like, here we go, the hernia again. And then all of a sudden, one day, I'm like, I forget I was going to the bathroom or whatever it was, and I'm like, oh man, kind of feels like got a gummy worm or something growing out of my right testicle. It felt like totally foreign,
Oh. And
I'm like, oh boy. Then you know something's up.
Yeah.
Because the gummy worm is never a good thing. So February of last year, I made an appointment, and I'm like, it's so embarrassing. I got to go, and
you got to check out
here we go.
my junk.
Yeah.
Touch my junk.
I'm going, oh, great. Here we go.
Yeah.
I go into the office, and I'm talking to the nurse, and she's, I'm telling her my symptoms and everything, and you could see the demeanor on her face kind of change.
Damn.
And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, I probably got this problem. I probably got that. Strangulated. I'm thinking it's a blood flow issue.
It's a hernia from your testicle or something.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking anything of it. And the next thing I know, the doctor comes in. As soon as he touches me, he looks up, and I'm going, oh, boy. Like, that is not a good look. And he's like, how long has it been like this? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I suspect you have cancer. And I'm like, okay, don't sugarcoat it, I guess. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're taking this out next week. Wow. I was like, oh, all right, we're not waiting. And then it was just like bang, bang. It was one thing after the other. So I got blood tests that night. The next morning I had to go for an ultrasound, confirmed I had a tumor. And then what did I do? then you got to go through because they don't know how severe it is. They don't know kind of how far everything's spread. You have to go through like sperm banking.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to have children. Oh, yeah. That's an experience unto itself. That is nothing like you see in the movies.
Yeah.
It is the most awkward situation you could ever imagine.
More awkward than them ultrasounding your package.
110%. 110%. You're walking into like it looks like an industrial area where the particular place that I had gone to.
Okay.
And, so you walk in and you're kind of embarrassed already.
Yeah.
Because you've been trying to hide the fact that you do this for the past 30-something years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, I'm in a building that's solely dedicated.
And they know.
Then they know why you're there. And the girl sitting behind the counter was this, like, she had to be, I don't have a DNA test, but she had to be, like, Peruvian and some kind of Hispanic. She had light green eyes. I go, oh, God.
Here we go.
Like
they set me up.
Yeah. Like
they set the tone.
This is so weird.
Yeah.
And then, they put you in this creepy, super creepy room. And they're like,
was it like those old adult video store back rooms?
Yes.
I've never been in one. I've just heard the story.
Yeah. So you have a collection.
Yeah.
To pick from.
Well, it's just super, super shady, and you're like, oh man, what am I doing here?
Did you not touch anything in there?
Well, when they put the like when you get a puppy and they put the pee-pee pad down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they put that on the seat, and I'm like, there ain't no way I'm sitting in that seat. Because you're in like the masturbatorium here. It's, I'm like, oh God.
Things go down.
Yeah. So she puts the cup on the table, and she's like, okay, put your sperms in here. I'm like, oh boy. She puts on. They have a TV from 1985, and they put on some kind of weird fetish porn. And she's
seriously?
Like, yeah. And
VHS,
she's like, is this okay?
DVD?
No, it was DVD.
Oh, okay.
It was a flat screen, but not a flat screen. It was like like when they've the actual screen went flat.
Yeah.
So you can't turn it off.
I didn't know what to do because you got to remember you're in there and it's real quiet in the building, and like if they're in the hallway they can hear you what you're doing, but there's no volume. So she didn't even put the volume on the TV.
Inconsiderate.
Yeah, and it was a foot fetish. And I'm like, this is totally not cool.
Yeah.
Like this
I didn't ask for this.
This is the opposite of what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh man. So then you actually start
1 hour later.
Right. Well, I don't know if you remember, last March was really warm. I mean, warmer than it is now. It was like 78 degrees.
Yeah.
I had a sweatshirt on. The place was hot.
Oh.
So I'm sweating. I'm trying to do my thing. And I'm making deals with myself. I'm like, come on, this is medical. This isn't like pleasure. This is like, bro, you got cancer. You got to, this is, you want to have kids?
Yeah.
This is what you got to do.
Yeah.
So about 20 minutes later and about 4 pounds of sweat, I swear to God, I looked like Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter. I came out, I was soaked head to toe. And so now I'm walking around and I'm like soaked. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that, you know? And I walk out and I remember the girl's expression, the receptionist. She looks up over and just utter disgust. She's like, oh, I see you're finished.
Could she make it any more weirder?
Yeah, no. And I'm like, oh my God.
She took like those little firework things, those little sprinklers, whatever it is. Like, congratulations, you did it.
So, and it was funny because 2 days ago I just found out, and it wasn't confirmed at the time, but I mean, when the guy, when that doctor's telling you have cancer, this guy's seen enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I can't believe this is really my life. Like, I can't believe this is really going on.
Yeah, man.
And so now I'm sitting there soaked in sweat. She's like, all right. So then they give me the take-home kit for the next day or 2 days later.
I couldn't get the take-home kit on day one.
Listen, I go home. And again, there's a lot of rules to it. You can't do certain things. You're not supposed to eat certain foods, no alcohol. You got to wait 2 days in between doing it. And now the take-home kit is like doing a science experiment.
Jeez.
So I do my thing. I mix all the chemicals. I do whatever. Now I'm holding the bag like I got plutonium because I don't want this stuff smelling.
Yeah.
These are my kids. So I'm holding the bag. I'm driving down the parkway.
No.
Yeah, I'm holding the bag, and I'm like, I can't hold it. My shoulder now is getting sore.
Wow.
You didn't tie the bag?
Little isometric hold.
Listen.
You can't tie the bag?
Well, I had a lot going on.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Well, no, because it has to stay upright. The container has to stay upright. So I'm thinking I'm a genius. I'm going to hang the bag from the coat hanger behind my head. Right? Because gravity's going to make that thing stay upright.
Yeah.
Well, it's hot out, so I roll down the window, and the next thing I know, I hear the bag flapping behind me. I'm going, oh, my God, I think I just spread my seed everywhere all over. Like, I'm thinking it flew out the window.
Yeah.
My kids
over
all
the next
over.
car.
Yeah, there we go.
My
there goes
kids
the future. I'm going, there goes my future out on the road. Thank God I caught it in time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like unbelievable grab. I think I probably caused about 2 accidents.
Ken Griffey did.
Yeah. So I went down there. I walk in, and the same girl's there. And I'm like, oh, here we go again.
You again.
Now, you just saw me 2 days ago. I
Yeah.
can't imagine there's too many people going in and out of this place.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a bag, a white nondescript bag, and I'm holding it out. Like it's got, dynamite in it.
Yeah. Take it.
Well, she goes, can I help you? I'm like,
Seriously, you got to make me tell you?
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, God. So, and that's, I don't know if that's the experience for everybody, but that kind of prepared me, I think, for...
What's to come?
So a week later on March 10th, I had my right testicle removed, and I laugh about everything. I try to make it. If you're not going to laugh about it, you're going to cry about it.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I had my doctor come in, and he's very serious. My urologist, Dr. Shin from Hackensack, and he's like, "Okay, we're going to do this," and I started asking about the prosthesis.
Hey, let's get these prosthetics going.
And
Can I get an 8-ball, please?
yeah, well, I said, I want one that's built for comfort, not for speed. And I don't think he knew how to take that. My mother's hitting me. She's sitting next to me. She's like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like, so I'm like, do I get to pick how big this is? Do I, and he's like, "No, I think I'll just select the one that's right for you." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
All right.
Like what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
You're
You're about to lose your right testicle
Yeah.
because of cancer, from suspected cancer, which,
Yeah.
Oh, so they put it in no matter what?
no, you choose.
No, but they put it in. They don't let you go with just one in there.
No, you can.
Okay,
Okay.
some people
Imagine what
opt
that
out
look like,
for
though.
Yeah. I never knew.
I don't know.
I didn't even know that you could.
Get a fake
Prosthetic.
one.
Yeah, you could get a little substitute.
They call it a floater.
A float. I didn't know you could get an extra 8-ball. I
Yeah,
had no idea.
Yeah, I got 2. I got 3 now.
Looks like a total
Yeah,
recall
they
movie.
call them tripod.
But and it's funny because that's one of the big things. They're like, "Oh, do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah." You're scratching yourself. You need some
It's true.
some backing behind
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to feel weird.
That's it.
Yeah.
And at the time, listen, I'm not married. I don't have a girlfriend at the time, and
Yeah.
it's like, can you imagine that? How your
Yeah.
first sexual experience with someone, you're like, "Hey," and all of a sudden they're like, "Wait a minute, something's
Something's
kind of off there."
Yeah. No, hell
I see
yeah.
the meat, but you're missing a potato.
No big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, it can freak people. Some
and that's
people
it.
out.
And I think mentally for guys, it's I'm losing my masculinity, which at the time maybe I thought that.
Yeah.
And then as you look back on it, you're like, what am I, an idiot?
Yeah.
Like, really, like it's
Okay, lose your masculinity and your life. No
yeah,
problem.
That's it,
Yeah.
or you die.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like,
You idiot.
I mean, and you know what's crazy? Some people were saying like, hey, maybe you shouldn't get it done. Just like if you take sliced sweet potatoes and you put them in your socks, it'll suck the cancer. I'm like, are you
it's
out
one
of
of
your
those.
mind?
One of those.
Yeah. Have you chewed on your ginger today or
Yeah.
whatever? I'm like, listen, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go the route that I know is gonna win.
And
Yeah.
how about this? Did you have cancer and that treatment worked for you?
And
The
that's
sweet
Yeah.
potatoes
Yeah.
and the shoes? No.
Yeah.
It's easy to say from the sidelines, but
Right.
when you're in
True.
the game, come
right. And let me know if your kid gets cancer. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Not go to the hospital?
on. Or you're
just
going to
hang out.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But
Crush ginger under your lip for 10 days.
Yeah, go home
Nah.
with that. I'm good.
yeah. So I mean, I had it out, and believe it or not, it was super easy. It was an hour-and-a-half surgery.
Mhm.
Home
They
the
put you
same
under?
day. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That wasn't gonna be something I was gonna be awake for. Because
Oh,
they actually
look.
they cut it out of your stomach.
Oh.
Oh, they don't open the
no,
bag.
No.
So they.
I was
go-
gonna ask you too. Like they
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
wrap that
that's-
puppy up.
yeah.
and-
No, they go right, kind of in the crease of like where your hip joint is above
Okay.
your
Wow.
groin.
in the front or like
In the front.
in the under?
No. Like it's
Not-
like
not
by your
in-
belt line.
Okay.
It's high. It's pretty high because they take out all the plumbing too.
Wow.
And so took a few days. That comes back. The doctor calls you up and he's like, "All right, come on in." And you know what's coming. You're like, "All right, here we go." He's because now you always have that hope. You always
Yeah.
have. It's like, hey, maybe it really wasn't. Maybe it's just like a benign tumor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walk in, he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Good. Okay, yeah, it's cancer." And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're like, shit, I got cancer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you never. I mean, that's the worst thing you could possibly hear. And the doctor's like, "All right, you need to go for this test, this test, this test, this test."
So his delivery was good.
Yeah, and you know what? And I get it. They deal with it all day long. It's like anything
Clockwork.
else.
Mhm.
And he just said, he's like, "You're gonna be fine.
Nice.
Don't worry about it. It is, it's." And I'm like, "Yeah, easy for you to say."
Yeah. Sitting on the other end of the
Say that.
scenario.
But and then from there I went over to Memorial Sloan over in the city,
Mhm.
and that was probably about a week or two later. And then it's like, all right, we're going to see what these guys say. I went for, obviously, a bunch more tests. And they're like, oh, it's spread. And I'm like, oh, boy. It went to your lymph nodes. It's stage 2B. And I'm like,
which lymph
man.
nodes? Don't you have a ton of them?
Yeah, so these are your retroperitoneal lymph nodes.
Okay. Which chakra is that?
What?
Is that your mid chakra?
Listen, I don't know where it is. All I know is it's inside
It's
somewhere.
there.
Yeah, it's inside.
It's there.
So they have to take that out, or
Well,
that's where the chemo comes in?
That's where the chemo comes in. So, the doctor I had, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like an angry Ben Stiller. and he's like, listen, you're going to be fine. We're going to save you. It's going to suck.
Okay.
He goes, there's no getting around it. It's going to be miserable, but you're going to live. And I'm like, that's it. That's all I want to hear.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you sit there and you hear that you have cancer and you start to get down and it's like, oh man, I can't believe why me?
Yeah.
Why, I can't believe it. But being over there puts a lot in perspective too, that when I went for more testing over there, after I had found out it spread, I'm walking into the hospital and there's a guy about my age carrying like a 4 or 5 year old little kid.
Oh.
And I'm like, damn, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Like this is a speed bump in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
what
you
I mean?
lived a long life so far, right?
Listen, I've been in love. I've seen all the states. I've been to other countries. I've had my prom.
You shot a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really makes. Yeah,
You shot a gun.
You shot a gun.
You meathead.
but
You shot a gun.
and you look at this little kid, and it's like, what the hell did they do to deserve this?
Yeah.
And here I am, like, who am I to complain?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a crappy year, but
Yeah.
it's a year.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be a great year,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that really kind of set me straight.
Yeah.
As far as perspective
Mm.
and.
What were there any things that you thought of changing at that time when you found out? What were the first ththings that were going through your mind? Like
You start actually thinking about, oh man, I should have did this, I should have did that.
Yeah.
You really start,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because I don't want to say I didn't have bad cancer, but I had something that is very beatable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, maybe maybe in 3rd grade I should have asked that girl out.
Yeah.
You start, it's
No,
crazy. It starts,
Yeah.
and if your mind isn't straight going through this, you're in trouble
Yeah.
because that's going to control
I
everything.
can't imagine.
Mm.
And and this might be like bro science, but I hear a lot of people say like having the positive attitude or having the negative attitude deals with the placebo effect.
Yes.
And when you're stressed out, like your body is stressed out.
Listen,
And everything goes downhill from there. And if you didn't stay strong, if you didn't stay mentally strong, you wouldn't put yourself in the best position to beat it, as opposed to the worst physical position, right?
No, 1,000%. I mean, I think that your mindset going into it is 50% of the battle.
True.
And as you go through it, it's looking from the outside in, from maybe someone who's never gone through chemo. It's basically you got to just it's a fight every day.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel miserable almost every single day, and I knew that I had certain things I had to do, and a lot of people just go home and they lay on the couch
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And I'm like, that's not me. I would wake up every morning. I took the train over to New York to Madison Square Garden. I loaded my backpack with Gatorades and I walked 40 blocks from 34th and 5th, wherever Madison Square Garden is,
Yeah.
up to 68th in York.
Hot damn.
I walked to chemo every morning.
Wow.
And my doctor wasn't very happy about it because
Yeah.
he's like, you're on a train with all these sick people. You have no white blood cells. And I'm like, you know what, though? That's my mission. My mission
I
today is to get
see.
up, and I got to feel good enough to walk.
Yeah.
And there were days where I felt like I got hit by a bus.
I bet.
And there's days, and it's you're on a train and you could see everybody's kind of shuffling away from you
Mm-hmm.
because you're, me, I gained 50 pounds. I lost all my hair. My skin turned gray,
Yeah.
and I have a mask on. And they're probably sitting there going, okay, we don't want whatever he's got.
Yeah.
And it's, it kind of beats you up mentally. That's,
Mhm.
But you deal with it.
yeah, you get
Mhm.
through it.
Yeah.
And then you get ready to come back and train.
There you go.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. One of my best friends, same.
Yeah.
Testicular cancer. When he found out, he said, "Man, like I thought about all the things that I could have done," and
Yep.
he started doing things a little differently. He just his girlfriend would not weigh him down, but just like he wanted to do so many things. Was like, you know what? Peace. Yeah, let me
Now-
do my thing.
Did you plan for the opposite to happen? Like, oh man, if he tells me I'm donezo, or you just said no,
Well,
blocking that stuff out of my head.
the doctors over at Sloan they're not going to give up on you.
Mhm.
So with the type of cancer I have, there is no stage 4. It doesn't exist
Oh,
because no
nice.
matter how bad it is, it's still beatable.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, and I told my doctor, you know, very early on, I said, listen, I'd rather die a young lion with scars than a gazelle with old tired legs. I go, so
That's good.
we're in it to win it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And
That's
and
awesome.
they that's what they want to hear. They want to hear that you're in, you know, you're ready to fight, you're ready to do it. And
Now, have you told your coworkers that you've had cancer yet? Because knowing you haven't told anybody at work.
I waited.
This guy probably showed up every
Listen,
single day.
I went to work every day after chemo.
This guy.
I missed 7 or 8 days because I had that monster surgery.
Okay.
No excuses,
Yeah.
people.
So I'm
no
like-
excuses.
Well, you know, and you know what it is? Those people that go home, lay on the couch, you're gonna rot. I walked on the treadmill every day. Even though I did that walk in the morning to get to chemo, I made sure I did at least 20 minutes on the treadmill every single day. My diet was terrible. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I was eating pizza, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what?
But
At
you
this
were
point,
eating, though.
I was.
That's
yeah.
important. 'Cause some people don't eat, right?
Yeah, a lot of people get sick. I was very lucky, and I think a lot of it had to do with your mindset going in, and the fact that I just kept moving. Like a lot of people stagnate and they just sit there and
Like I said, rot.
they rot.
Yeah.
It's and you know, and it's unfortunate. I actually made a lot of friends going through chemo, and some of these guys had a lot of problems, and I'm like, man, maybe if you just got up and moved a little bit more, you know, your body would start to take care of itself.
True.
You'd regulate a little bit.
True.
Man, what's really cool right now that I see is like your appreciation for life is like on another level. Because when we first started, you're talking about your job. You had all these other jobs, and then how grateful you are for the job that you currently have right now. And then I can only imagine your
From that point
appreciation for life. Just like this past week, I'm like, man, we're lucky because we get to appreciate the weather, like nice weather, because we go through all the seasons.
Yeah,
We go
crappy
through
weather,
like
yeah.
crappy ass snow, and then when the weekend hit, you're like, man, this must feel nice. So as I'm talking to you, I'm like, man, your appreciation must be on like a whole different like
you know,
level 100.
Yeah, and it's funny because you catch yourself starting to complain. Oh man, I can't believe I broke the screen on my phone. And you're sitting there and you're like, did I really just complain about that?
Yeah.
First world problem.
Like, are you
man.
kidding me? And then you hear guys complaining about making money and oh, I can't believe I got to pay this much in taxes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, and I always think back to that one guy I saw carrying a kid, and I'm like, we have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
You know, we actually are looking for things to complain about.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because we have a surplus.
Yeah.
We have a surplus in everything in life. Living in America, you have a surplus of food in your refrigerator, a surplus of crap in your closets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a surplus of like junk that you need to throw away. A surplus of junk that you need to throw away. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like a surplus of everything.
Stuff
so
on your phone.
yeah,
Just everything, man.
stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
You have a phone.
Yeah.
You know, I remember growing up, and I'm not even that old. I'm 27. I remember growing up with no cell phones. There was no
Right.
cell phones yet. Or they were, but they were like those big clunky ones that no
Yeah,
one had.
They were called beepers.
Beep-
That was
there was
that was our
beepers.
communication.
Yeah.
That was a communication.
And like you did, like if the family had a cell phone, one person had it.
Mhm.
There wasn't family plans, and it's cheap
No.
to get this. And
yeah.
and I remember, you know,
the,
I was like 19 when I got my
Yeah.
first phone.
the way I see it is, if you have Facebook, you can't complain.
Yeah.
If you have Facebook, don't
What if
complain.
you had the trifecta? You have Facebook, you have Instagram, and you got like
and you
Twitter. or
have
something.
flat screen TV? You can't complain.
Yeah, don't
No.
complain.
You're-
Yeah.
About anything.
That's illegal.
When your phone could sync with your computer and your
Yeah.
TV,
You can't
Yeah.
complain.
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah,
When you have
shut up.
Apple TV, shut the hell up
Yeah.
and enjoy what you have, man.
Yeah.
And that's I think a lot of people that is lost on them.
Mhm.
You know, and it's funny because coming back to train, at first I'm like a little hesitant because after I went through chemo, I had to wait 2 months, and I wound up getting what they call a RPLND surgery,
Okay.
which is basically they cut you from your sternum all the way straight down to your groin. And when they cut you straight down, it's about an 18-inch incision.
Yeah.
They take every organ out below your
Oh,
diaphragm. And then they cut 50 lymph nodes off my aorta. So I'm like, okay. You know, now you're wondering how you're going to feel after this.
Yeah.
So you
So-
don't need those lymph nodes?
I ain't got them, so
Or they
no, I'm
grow
okay.
back or
Yeah.
something? Like what
No,
happened?
No, they're not growing back.
Okay.
One of them, they were the ones that were infected, so they don't take any chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to take out like 3, and then God forbid the 4th has cancer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So they don't mess around. They take them all out
Wow.
and staple you back up. I spent 7 days in the hospital, no food, no water, not allowed, and nothing passes your lips.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was rough.
That's rough.
But and you know what's funny though? You draw on everything you've done in the past. So
yeah.
you know you're sitting in bed and I'm like, man, I'm really thirsty. But you know what? I've gone 4 days already without drinking water in college. I'm really
cut and wait.
cutting weight,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
you know, and you sit there and you think, wow, this really really stinks. And it's like well, when I did jiu-jitsu last year and I was training for that tournament, you know what? That week sucked too because I only ate like 2 or 3 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you could get through it. It's
Yeah.
not, it's a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And doing all that, you draw on it, and that's how you get through it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, oh man, now this is how it feels like to have a C-section?
Yeah.
Like with that big
Oh,
scar.
that's a B, C, D, E, F, G section.
Yeah.
It's it's funny because now my stomach muscles are like a little rearranged.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh man, this is like doing certain sit-ups and stuff. It looks like I have an alien coming out of my stomach.
Wow.
It's I mean, I think it's hysterical.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a cool party trick now.
Hey, look at this.
Yeah,
Will
hey,
that
check this
ever
out.
fix itself?
No. But listen.
Is it structurally going to damage you?
No. I mean, I've been training now I had the surgery September 7th.
Nice.
I came back to jiu-jitsu, a month ago maybe?
Yeah, about a month.
But I was training before then as far as like working out, lifting and stuff. And,
Yeah.
I'm doing leg raises, weighted leg raises, doing a lot of
Nice.
core stuff, just
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get those muscles, back in shape so they
Nice.
don't become wimps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whip
yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
Real good.
But, and coming here that was a big test too.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor's like, I don't know, if you should do it. And I'm like, oh, surprise, I've been doing it 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
My bad.
But, you got to, you kind of like surrender yourself coming back. I took all my stripes off and
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to get tapped and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Now, and it's important that now, I mean, it's not important, but it is in the grand scheme of things that you do go out and do things like this. Talk about it. Give people some words of inspiration, encouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get why people, I don't get why they either hide it or they're ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Someone comes in with, and it's funny because I always, again, one of the guys at work even said it, and he's like, listen, we're sorry that anybody had to get cancer here at work, but we're happy it's you.
Mm.
And I'm like, what?
What a
kind
piece
I was like,
of shit.
and then I'm like looking, I'm like, wait a minute. And he goes, no, because we know you're gonna laugh about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I
Okay.
could joke around about
Mm.
it, especially now after everything
Yeah.
worked out so
Yeah.
well.
I guess people knew you would turn it into a positive for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I always joke around. I said, someone says they have breast cancer. It's like, oh God, that's terrible. I have testicular cancer. Oh man, you got to show me it. It's like a different outlook at it. And I'm like,
Prove it.
it wasn't that much fun. I don't know why is everybody laughing about it.
No, that's a good point.
That's crazy, man.
And I'm like, oh man, it sucked, but
But you got through it.
it is what. Listen, if
Yeah.
and now I definitely look at things a lot different.
Mm.
If people ask me to go to a party, maybe before this I would have said no 80% of the time. I'm
Yeah.
going to hang out and just watch TV or whatever. Now it's like,
You're a
I'm
people
out.
person all
I'm
of a
out.
sudden?
Yep, I'm
Nice.
out.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Today's
And you know what's crazy? It takes something like that, like when people go through bad things. Let's say you get a speeding ticket. It
Right.
really ruins your day. But then later on that day, you hear of a guy speeding, same road, car accident, 2 people die, and then they're like, "Man, I feel bad about it," and that feeling lasts, and it makes you rethink things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm just using that, but they forget. The feeling goes away after 2 weeks.
right.
Mhm.
For you, I can't imagine this feeling will
Nah,
ever
this
go
is-
away
Yeah.
because you're dealing with like the real shit.
Yeah, and every time I look in the mirror now, I have an 18-inch scar that runs from my sternum down to my groin.
Yeah.
There's no forgetting what you went through.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you really actually start saying to yourself, like, am I really complaining about this? Why? You go outside and you're like, man, there's people right now in the hospital that aren't enjoying this nice weather. They're
Yeah.
stuck in there.
Yeah.
And you're like,
True.
man, I better start living it up a little bit.
Yeah, I bet your work ethic goes up too, right? Like
Yeah.
you're just more motivated to get things done.
Yeah, I mean, I hit the gym 5:30 in the morning. Then I go to work, and
That's
then I
it.
come here and train in the afternoon.
Tell them.
That's it.
Tell them there's no excuses. Tell
Bring it
them.
No,
down,
it's-
baby.
Tell
you
them
know.
there's no excuse. You're
Yeah.
not training? Why? Why are you not training?
I sprained my pinky.
Right?
Yeah.
You sprained your pinky. Get the fuck out.
Punk ass bitch.
Yeah.
No, but it's and coming back here is it's very, it's awesome because it's like a family type thing. It's a
Mhm.
nice setting.
Yeah.
It's the guys aren't you're not. No one's out here to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you actually just gotta kind of say, okay, I'm taking my lumps again, starting over.
Yeah. And another thing is people will start looking up to you more.
Yeah, that's
Not
the
that they
thing,
didn't have a
Yeah.
reason to look up to you before, because you do a lot of good things. You're a good guy, but now they have a even more reason to look up to you because you've been through this.
Mhm.
So my point is, it's kind of your responsibility to talk about it and
Yeah.
and encourage people to, to you know,
inspire, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like literally what you're saying right now, you have to do on more platforms now.
Yeah,
Go out.
I mean, it's
Go Tom.
Do it.
All right, see you later.
So if you want to book Tom for a speech, call 911.
No, literally,
Just dial
call
9.
911.
But no, it's, I mean, and it's funny because a lot of times people always say, hey, can you do that? Like I just bought those little parallel bars because I want to start doing a lot of core stuff. And,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, can you do that? You want to watch me? I'm probably
Yeah,
going
I
to fall
know.
a bunch of times, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's, oh, can you do jujitsu?
Like,
Well, I really kind of sucked before too, but
I
I'm going to
could-
try.
yeah, I could do it better than you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like you want to come work out? Oh no, that's really hard.
And
What?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy
And-
feeling a little pain. I enjoy
Yeah.
sweating and bleeding a little bit.
And people don't realize, like, because, you work out, there's a little pain that goes along with it. That's
Mhm.
that's what we feel.
that
You've been
discomfort.
through the worst pain.
People
Yeah.
don't want to be uncomfortable.
They don't
don't.
realize.
That's it.
Yeah.
They can't stand being uncomfortable.
And the crazy part too is every time you come out of that time or that period of discomfort, you always come out stronger.
I love
Always.
it. Yeah.
Right? Whether you're training jujitsu, weight training, or going through a hard time in life, you get stronger. You become a better person. That's why I always root for people like right now, like just anyone coming in a storm, trying to navigate their way out. You're always cheering for them because you're on the other side. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
if they could do it,
Yeah.
I
I could do it.
Yeah. And,
exactly.
and I'm so glad that I'm not having to be the one
Yeah.
that has to navigate that storm.
Yeah, man.
Right?
It's just like everyone has their storms that they go through, man. It's just everyone's cheering for each other, the type
Mm.
of thing, man. So
I like that metaphor.
thank you, man.
It's a good
That's what I
metaphor.
do.
It's good. I also like that watch Tom's wearing.
That's
wasn't
good too.
If he wasn't a cop, I'd jack him. On that note, man,
Hey,
thanks for
Tom,
doing
thank
it.
you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, man, for jumping on, man. I hope everyone listening got something out of this. And if you're not training because you sprained your pinky or you got a
Yeah, no
splinter,
excuses.
Yeah.
put your big boy pants on
Yeah.
or your big girl pants on
and do
train.
it.
Yeah, man.
Don't tell me you have a headache. That's why you didn't come in.
Yeah.
Or you got a little cold.
And just anything in life, not just with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Anything in life. Go attack it. Get out of that storm.
That's it. Any last words, Tom?
No, just hey, you know what I do have to say? Don't wait. If you got some kind of problem, go to the doctor early,
True.
like I did.
Shit.
Yeah.
Man,
Don't wait.
Yeah.
you got me nervous because this whole time.
Yeah,
I-
I've been
rib
holding
hurts.
my right nutsack.
Yeah. I thought you just really liked the way I dressed. I was kind of actually a
No,
little
it's
impressed.
It's kind of both.
But yeah, like Tom said, if you feel something wrong,
Get on it early.
don't be
Go
shy to
check.
go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Cough in a cup or something.
Especially all the guys out there. We wait so long, man. Like
It's
we're supermen until we're not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh,
True that.
God.
True that.
yeah, man.
Anyway, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
See you soon. Let's train.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Us, brother. We out. Peace.